and if not, please let me know.
Ready? Okay, good morning. Today is March 18th, 2025. This is a regular meeting of the Kings County Board of Supervisors. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Joe Nevs.
Here.
Richard Valley.
Here.
Doug Verboon.
Here.
Rusty Robinson.
Here.
Robert Thayer.
Here. Okay, all 5 members are present. We'll go to the first item, which is Youth and County Government Day. We welcome all you here today and hope we have a nice day and you learn a lot about what we do to make our government run. So with that, I'll turn it over to Matthew Boyette.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, members of the board. Matthew Boyette, Deputy County Administrative Officer, Kings County Administration. So yeah, today's an exciting day. It's Youth and County Government Day. It gives the youth in our county great opportunity to job shadow what we do here, both, yourselves as elected officials and staff out here in the audience today, and really highlighting the importance of the work that we're also passionate about, public service, and how we can make an impact on our community here at home, and also how rewarding a career in public service can be. So very, very exciting time and a good way to highlight that and get them excited, just as excited as we are to be here, get them excited for potential career opportunities here, hopefully in the near future. So with that, I'm going to pass it off to the lady of the hour that makes this whole thing a huge success, which we're very thankful for. And I'll pass it off to Christine Olvera. So thank you very much.
Christine, it's all yours.
Good morning, supervisors. Welcome everybody to Youth and County Government Day 2025. As you can see, we have a great auditorium filled with all Kings County high school students. So welcome. And also to our department heads who are standing very patiently in the back. Without you, this would not be possible. I just want to let you know, as I call off names again, last announcement, any students who have not signed in, just because I do have to shuffle a couple that did not arrive. So, all right, here we go. We are going to start with County Council. And I'd like to call up Elizabeth Rodriguez from Avenel High School. Elizabeth Rodriguez, please come up. Elizabeth, you will be sitting at the dais with our county council, Mary Lerner. So if you'd like to go down to the well, you're going to go down and meet Mary. Now, if I call a name and the student's not here, we'll skip on to the next. I have Jonathan Vega, Hanford West High School. Jonathan Vega? No, Jonathan. And actually, before we do this, I'd like to invite up our ag co-op, Casey Hill. Casey, if you'd like to come over here. I'm going to give you your other assigned student, Layla Barrera. Layla, please meet Casey. You will be enjoying a day at the University Ag Cooperative. Casey, there's your student. Now, if I can invite up our Ag Commissioner, Jimmy Hook.
Hi.
Come on up, Jimmy. Jimmy, I'm going to announce the students. A few are not here, but I'm going to announce the names. Those that are here, please rise and go meet Jimmy. I have Brian Soto from Avenel High. I have, Brian, are you here? I have Kimberly Hernandez. Kimberly, Avenel, come on up. I have Jehara Reynosa, I don't believe is here, and Sebastian Saldivar. Sebastian, there you go. And I don't believe your Raleigh's here, correct? Correct, okay, your Raleigh Puff. Ag Commissioner and Sealer, please enjoy your children today and enjoy being at the Ag Commissioner's office. Enjoy. Next, I'd like to invite up Christy Lupkis, Behavioral Health. Lupke, excuse me, Christy.
Dominic
or
Judy.
Dom,
Dominic.
Behavioral Health.
Domingo.
Dom, come on up, Dom. Okay, so we have a couple of students here. We have Danielle from Lemoore Middle College, Danielle Sherlock. We have Esteban Guillen from Hanford West. And we have Krista Martin from Avenel High. Krista? Okay, Krista's not here. All right. Behavioral health students, Dom, everybody enjoy what you're going to learn about behavioral health. Have a good time. Now, here comes the main ones. Board of Supervisors. Here are your selected ones. We have Elijah Whiting, Sierra Pacific High School, that will be going to Supervisor Doug Verboon. Elijah, come on up. And if you'd like, you can go behind the rails. Next, I have Supervisor Robert Thayer, and we have Dominic Ayala from Hanford East. Dominic, come on up, Dominic. We now have Supervisor Rusty Robinson, and I have Elizabeth Brown coming over from Sierra Pacific. Next, we have Supervisor Richard Valley, and I have Jason Leppy from Corcoran High School. Come on down, Jason. And last but not least, we have Supervisor Joe Neves, and we have John Wyatt Irvin from Lemoore Middle College. Look very nice on the dais, everybody. Now, next, we have our Community Development Agency. So I'm just going to now announce by agency just in case you sent a designee. But we do have our director, Chuck Kenny, here. Welcome, Chuck. We have Killen Braz from Lemoore Middle College. And Taylor Usher from Sierra Pacific. Wonderful. And I'm going to make one last announcement. Is an Antonio Ferrer here by any chance? Okay. All right, we're moving on to District Attorney's Office. District Attorney. Hi, Cindy. Come on down. We have Cindy Underwood, representation of District Attorney. And will Alexis Lennon please stand? From Hanford East. Alexis Lennon from Hanford East, please meet Cindy Underwood. We now have Andy Ferrer from Lemoore High. And Natalia Orogel from Corcoran High School. And please enjoy your day at the District Attorney's Office. Next up, we have Child Support Services, Miss Marie Waite, Director. And we have Abigail Collins from Lemoore Middle College. We have Adriana Guerrero from Lemoore High School. I don't think the last one is a Miss Pravalika here. Okay. Enjoy your day at Child Support Services. Elections, Emily, I see you're here. Come on down. So for elections, we have Hunter Freitas from Hanford West. And we have Sarah Cerda from Hanford East, Hanford High. Wait till Sarah gets over there. And I hope you all enjoy your day at elections. Now I'd like to call up the Director of Finance, Eric Ureña. We have Joseph Franco from Avenel High School. Joseph, come on down. And Sequoia Kaiser from Hanford High. Please enjoy your day in our finance department. Now I'd like to call Chief Luis Nevares, our fire chief. Who's going to fire today? I have Daisy Montejano from Corcoran High School. I have Haley Ojeda. Is Haley here from Hanford West? Okay. Natalie Gomez from Avenel High School. And Solel Soto from Sierra Pacific. Also, Suri Ibanez from Lemoore High. Suri here? There she is. Suri. Enjoy your day at fire. I hear there's going to be a fabulous training going on. That's it.
Red lights and sirens.
All right, enjoy. Now I'd like to call up our public health department, representatives from public health. Oh, there she is, Director Rosemary Ron. And I have Luke Woods from Sierra Pacific. Luke. I have Vanessa Edidia from Corcoran High. And Judith Bermudez from Avenel High. Enjoy your day at Public Health. Now I'd like to call back Madam HR Director, Carolyn Least. We have is Crystal Mendez here from Avenel High? And I believe Janelle Villanueva from Lemoore Middle College. Is Janelle here? Okay, no, Janelle. Reynaldo Benedicto Lemoore Middle College, either. Here nods. Valerie Sandoval from Hanford West. Okay, enjoy your day at HR. It's been one of our popular destinations the last couple of years. And I'd like to invite Chris Nadas from the Human Services Agency, please. Chris, we have Judith. Is Judith Lascano Aguilar here from Corcoran High? Judith? And Luz Garcia? Luz, also from Corcoran High. To learn all about our wonderful Human Services Agency. Enjoy your day. Next, the Information Technology Department, John Devlin, Director John Devlin, please come up. Do we have Alexa Macias from Lemoore Middle College? And Alexia Melgar from Avenel High? And let's see here, Braxton Franco from Sierra Pacific. Eleanor Montoya from Lemoore Middle College. Josh Ronquillo from Lemoore Middle College. Enjoy your day at Information Technology. Now I'd like to invite up our Economic and Workforce Development Director, Julieta Martinez. You will have Jasmine Torres from Lemoore Middle College. Jasmine. And Ruby Mota from Hanford High. Enjoy your day at JTO and the Economic Development. Now I'd like to invite up Ashley Nuffer in representation of the library. Ashley, we have Anthony Andrade from Lemoore Middle College. And Ava Cano from Sierra Pacific. Is Ava here? And I don't believe, okay. And enjoy your day at library. Next, I'd like to invite up Scott Hallwell, Public Guardian Veteran Service Officer. Camden Combs from Hanford High. Camden, enjoy your day. Now, our Chief Probation Officer, Leonard Baker. We have, is Adriana Ruiz from Avenel High. Adriana Figallo from Sierra Pacific. And we have Sophie Acosta from Lemoore High School. Enjoy your day at probation. Next, I'd like to invite up Public Works. We have Jim Henderson. Brittany Morales. Brittany Morales here. Karen Jimenez. Karen from Avenel High School. Mia Delatorre, Sierra Pacific. And is Reina Diaz here? Yes, Reina Diaz, Avenel High. Enjoy your day at Public Works, ladies. Next is Sheriff's Office, Andrew Matza in representation. Okay. Annalisa Botello from Hanford High. Andy Cano from Avenel High. Gianna Mendez, Sierra Pacific. Kimberly Flores from Avenel High. And Mariana Perez from Avenel High. Do I have any students that have not received an assignment? Anaya. Anaya. You have a very special assignment. Come on up. Anaya, I'd like to introduce you to our Deputy County Administrative Officer, Matthew Boyette. Any other students? Welcome again to this Youth and County Government Day. I hope you all enjoy, and that's it for me. Thank you and have a good day.
Okay, thank you, Christine. We'll take a brief recess here until 9 o'clock and we'll start a regular meeting. At this time, we'll start a regular meeting. It's looks like it's 9 o'clock exactly, and we'll call to order. Madam Clerk, please call to order.
Joe Nevs,
Here.
Richard Valley,
Still here.
Doug Verboon,
Here.
Rusty Robinson,
Here.
Robert Thayer.
Okay, 5 present, and we have help today. So my sidekick is Elijah Whiting from Sierra Pacific. Vice Chair, who's your sidekick today?
I have Elizabeth. Elizabeth, what's your last
Brown.
name? Elizabeth
Brown.
Brown.
Supervisor Valley. Who's your, who is your helper today?
Good morning, Mr. Chairman. I have Mr. Jason Leppy, Corcoran High School, Go Panthers. And Jason, you'd like to say hi to everyone?
Hi, good morning, everyone.
What are your plans after high school?
I'm going to go to COS and then transfer to Fresno State.
Jason's going to join the United States Marine Corps. And no, I'm just kidding.
Supervisor Thayer.
Good morning. I have with me Dominic Ayala from Hanford High School, an aspiring photographer. So if you need your picture taken, find him on Instagram. I was just looking at his pictures. Very good photographer. And what are you going to do after high school?
I'm gonna go to community college for 2 years, then transfer to USD, and then go to law school.
Supervisor Neves.
Good morning. Thank you, Mr. Chair. I do have a very distinguished student from Lemoore Middle College High School. And please introduce yourself.
Good morning, everyone. My name is John Urban.
And where do you want to go to school?
The hope right now is to go to Cal State Long Beach.
After he gets done with community college at Lemoore College, and then transfer up there as a junior. So congratulations. Good job for that.
Thank you very much. And Elijah, what I know you have aspirations. What are they today?
Like after I would like to go to UC Davis and major in political science and get an internship at the Capitol.
Hi, that's good. Very good. Well, welcome here today. Hope you enjoy your day. We'll start now with our invocation. Pastor Tyler Jones. Only a church. All please rise.
Good morning. Bow your heads with me. Father, we just thank you for this special day. We thank you, Lord, for this county and for this board investing in the next generation of leaders. And I just pray over this meeting today that it would be clear, that it would be intentional, God, and that you would just give them divine strength and peace this morning. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we're gonna go now and schedule appearances, and Elijah will read them.
This is an opportunity for members of the public to address the board on items of interest within the board's jurisdiction and which are not already on the agenda. The board will not answer questions impromptu, and concerns or complaints will be referred to appropriate staff. For items which are on the agenda, members of the public will be provided with an opportunity to address the board as each item is brought up for discussion. Speakers should limit their comments to not more than 2 minutes.
I think I'll just go back in that. Do we have any comments?
I have no written correspondence, but I do have the first speaker card is Barbara Hill.
Yeah, good morning.
Morning. I live in District 1. Joe is my supervisor, and I appreciate all the years that I've being Santa to all my kids and now my grandchild. My biggest concern today is the issue with the homelessness and the $1,000 fine for the homelessness. One of the things I'd like to talk to you about is if they were homeless, they don't have $1,000 in their pocket. And I think it is a big waste to fine people $1,000 make them and to criminalize being poor. I'm old enough that my grandmother, who was born in 1901, took me out to the poorhouse to show me the poorhouse where they used to put whole families because they were poor. And I really think that we need to very seriously look at what we are doing to people and trying to penalize them for being poor. 60% of the families or the households in the United States are one paycheck away from being homeless. I want you to think about that as we go into a recession, whether you believe we're going into a recession or not, all the indicators are we are going into a recession. And there are going to be more than those 60% families. And in Kings County, we have a high rate of poverty. And so we may have more than that 60%. Another fact that you need to think about is 20% of every kid who ages out of the foster care system goes directly into being homeless. 20% of those kids that come out of foster care. And within 5 years of them aging out of the foster care system, 40% are homeless. So we have failed as a society if we are not helping these folks get housing and to criminalize them because they're homeless. Those folks don't want to live out in the street. I don't know about you, but I do a lot of things in this community. I work with young kids. I'm a Girl Scout leader. I have a large troop. I've been a Girl Scout leader for 14 years, and I have a large troop. We do a lot of work in the community. And, I work at the soup kitchen. Not every day, one day a month. I work at the soup kitchen. Those folks don't want to sleep on the street. To afford an apartment right now, a 1-bedroom, 1-bath apartment is $1,200 a month to start. Not the $100 that I could pay when I was getting my first apartment, and I'm really concerned. You got to make $22 an hour to afford a 1-bedroom, 1-bath apartment. I want you to think about that. Criminalizing folks is not the way to go. We need to figure something else. And to me, you're wasting law enforcement's time. They're going to be bringing people in. Those folks are not going to be kept in county jail because, we don't have any room to keep these folks in county jail. And what are we going to do? Criminalize them for being poor. And I think we need to figure out some other ways to deal with that and not be fining people $1,000. I think it's just a waste because they're not going to pay it. And I'm very concerned about that. So thank you for your time.
The next speaker is Jose Arellano, and I believe he's online.
Morning, Jose. You're online. It's all yours. I don't see Jose. Okay, we can move on.
That's all the speaker cards that I have.
Anybody from the audience would like to add to our agenda today or? Okay, we'll go on now to the next one. Next item is approval of the minutes. Item A, report out of closed session from special meeting on March 10th, 2025.
So thank you, Mr. Chair. Deputy County Counsel Elizabeth Rodriguez will handle item A.
For the special meeting for March 10th, 2025, there is nothing to report.
So thank you for that. And then with respect to item B, again, Ms. Rodriguez will introduce the item and I'll take it from there.
First report with respect to Sacramento is 25C 000704. The second report out is with respect for Fresno County Superior Court case number 20CECG 01302.
Thank you. Okay, so with respect to Sacramento Superior Court case number 25CV 000704, California Department of Water Resources versus all persons interested. in the matter, a motion was made by Chairman Verboen for Kings County to join with Tulare Basin Water Storage District to oppose the new validation action. The second was made by Supervisor Neves. The vote was as follows. Verboen, yes. Neves, yes. Thayer, yes. Valley, yes. Robinson, yes. With respect to Fresno County Superior Court case number 20 CECG 01302, State Water Contractors et al., the State of California Department of Fish and Wildlife et al., a motion was made by Chairman Verboen for Kings County to dismiss the 2020 LTO ITP actions with an agreement that all parties would bear their own fees and costs. The second was made by Supervisor Neves. The vote was as follows. Verboen, yes. Neves, yes. Thayer, yes. Valley, yes. Robinson, yes. And that concludes the report out.
Thank you very much. On now to item C.
Approval of the minutes from the special meeting for March 10th, 2025.
Motion to approve as presented.
We'll second it.
Motion by Supervisor Valley, yes. And second by Supervisor Neves, yes.
Joe Nevs,
Yes.
Richard Valley,
Yes.
Doug Verboen.
Yes.
Oh, I couldn't hear you. I apologize. Rusty Robinson,
Yes.
Robert Thayer.
Approval of the minutes from the regular meeting for March 11th, 2025.
Aye. No. Motion to approve.
Motion. Please call the roll.
Joe Nevs,
Yes.
Richard Valley,
Yes.
Doug Verboen, Rusty Robinson,
Yes.
Robert Thayer.
Yes.
I'm in favor. Thank you very much. We'll move on now to the consent calendar. You can read better than me.
For our consent calendar, all items listed under the consent calendar are considered routine and will be enacted by one motion. If a board member has questions, requests additional information, or wishes to comment on an item, the vote should not be taken until after questions have been addressed or comments made, and the public has had an opportunity to comment on the consent calendar items.
So moved.
Madam Chair, before you go on, can you please ask if there's any public comment?
Is there any public comment?
We have one comment. Don't put a counter, the microphone, state your name and address for the record, please. That's fine. No, that's fine.
My name's Susan Ross and my address is 2352 Magnolia Court. And I have a concern about the elections department. Why is there not going to be an election for the Tulare Basin Water Storage District? Why are people just being appointed? Were other people involved in that, or? That's my question.
We'll let counsel answer that.
Yeah, so we advise on those matters, and that I'm not going to let the board comment as to why, because that's a legal matter. But I'd be happy to have a conversation with you after the meeting if you would like.
Well, I'm not sure I can stay too much longer. But
Okay.
if I,
In the past, the reason has been put out, made out for the public. I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
Okay, if the board is okay with that.
We've had this question
Yeah.
at least 10 times.
Oh, okay, absolutely. So the law actually allows for appointments instead of the election.
thank you.
That's true.
And Chairman Lupe Villa, our elections manager, is on. Oh, or Emily.
Good morning, Mr. Chair. Emily Oliveira, Election Supervisor for Kings County Elections Office, members of the board. Ma'am, thank you for asking that question. The Tulare Basin Water District did in fact publish their notice of intent for election in the Corcoran Journal on October 24th, 2024. During that time, the district, which holds their own elections, opened up a nomination period, and of that time, 11 offices were up for election and only 11 candidates filed. per election code, if an insufficient number of candidates file for election, then those candidates are appointed directly in lieu of election.
Okay, we have a motion and a second.
Second.
Joe Nevs,
Yes.
Richard Valley,
Yes.
Doug Verboon, Rusty Robinson,
Yes.
Robert Thayer.
Five in favor. Move on now to the regular calendar. We have item A. First, B.
Human Services Agency. Chicago, section.
Good morning, Chairman and our expanded board. Happy to see you all here today. Today, we're honored to shine a light on the tremendous work that is carried out by social workers in Kings County. It's actually a really special thing for me. I've been a social worker for, kind of sad, I'm closing in on 29 years, and that feels like a really long time. But my background's in social work, and I think one of the things that we don't always realize is the unseen work that they do with families. We're part of our community safety net. We partner with law enforcement on investigations. We work with the district attorney on prosecutions, and we pick up the pieces and help families heal and children heal as a result of the difficult things that can happen in our community. Today, I'm joined by a few social workers that represent our various programs. Chris Naras is actually with one of our students today, so he's not here, but he's our deputy director over our adult program. Monica Connor is our deputy director over child welfare. And then we have two of our managers who'll be presenting about the work done in each of their respective areas. Before they present, I just wanted to take a moment to thank all of our amazing social workers for the work that they do, for their late nights, their long hours, their frustrations, their successes, their advocacy, their engagement, the endless documenting. There's so much documenting that they have to do as part of their job. And the courage, compassion, and most importantly, the commitment to serve the most vulnerable in our community. Their work is often unseen, but it's not unnoticed. And I thank you for taking the time today to shed a light on that. Now I'd like to introduce you to two of our managers. First, Natasha Endres will be presenting on child welfare, but first we'll have Jason Kemp-Vanny present on adult services.
Good morning, Chairman Verboon and members of the board, junior members of the board. I wanted to share a little bit of information about the Adult Social Service Unit or division that I oversee. In 2024, the in-home supportive service social workers completed 2,365 annual reassessments, ensuring that 2,365 clients in Kings County can continue living safely in their own home. Due to the majority, about 85%, of Kings County recipients that receive IHSS, they're being cared for by a family member. These reassessments that the social workers completed not only support client well-being, but also provide vital source of income for family caregivers as they care for their loved ones. The Adult Protective Service social workers received 887 referrals of suspected abuse last year. An APS social worker doesn't just complete an investigation, they provide and assist with connecting elders or disabled individuals with resources. Recently, a social worker received a call regarding an elderly individual not having food. This was after hours. The social worker, through their knowledge of available resources, was able to get the items to quickly keep the client safe in their home. However, their work didn't stop there. As they assisted the client, they helped them get enrolled with Meals on Wheels through the Commission on Aging, as well as they helped them get IHSS services, helped them apply for IHSS services. The team of 20 social workers within my area, the Adult Service Division, are dedicated to protecting and serving the elderly and disabled clients of Kings County. Thank you for your time, and I'd like to introduce Natasha with CWS.
Morning, Chairman and members of the board. My name is Natasha Endres, and I'm a program manager with Child Welfare. Last year, our social workers investigated 989 referrals of suspected child abuse and neglect. Of those, 877 were closed with no further intervention because our social workers were able to connect these families to resources and the help that they needed to keep their children safe. For those that did need deeper intervention, our goal is always family. 124 children were reunified with their parents last year because of the persistence and the compassion of our social workers. Often when you think of child welfare, you think of little children, and our social workers do serve little children, but they also serve transition youth ages 18 to 21, many of whom don't have family support. Last holiday season, our social workers organized events for Thanksgiving and Christmas for these young people. They had events with food, games, gifts, and laughter. These young people kept saying how grateful they were to have these types of celebrations. That's just one example of many. That's the impact of our social workers. They don't just investigate, they don't just intervene, they build trust, they build families, and sometimes they build joy where it may otherwise not have existed. For those reasons, we respectfully ask that the board adopt a resolution proclaiming the month of March 2025 as Social Worker Appreciation Month in Kings County. Thank you, Chairman and members of the board, for taking this time to acknowledge our social workers and the work that they do. We'd be happy to answer any questions.
Any questions from the audience?
Motion.
Second thought.
Joe Nevs,
Yes.
Richard Valley,
Yes.
Doug Verboon, Rusty Robinson,
Yes.
Robert Thayer.
Would you mind if we took a photo? We have some social workers here.
Good job. Thanks.
Our next item is Public Guardian and Veteran Services.
Good morning, Chairman, members of the board, and young guests. Cody Pennington, Assistant Public Guardian and Veteran Service Officer for Kings County. The Kings County Veteran Service Office is requesting the board to declare the week of March 23rd through 29th, 2025 as Veteran and Military Women's History Week in Kings County to honor all women military members and veterans for their sacrifice and contributions to the United States Armed Forces. Kings County military women and veterans are part of a long, proud legacy of military service, and the fourth week of March is an important time to recognize their significant contributions to the U.S. Armed Forces and local communities. Even before the enactment of the Women's Armed Services Integration Act of 1984, women have consistently answered the call to service. Since the American Revolution, throughout major U.S. conflict and during times of peace, women have always defended the freedoms and citizens of this nation. Active duty military and veteran women in Kings County are diverse in character, integrity, resourcefulness, courage, and conviction. They are recognized leaders, steadfast volunteers, and devoted family members. It is the county's duty to recognize the contributions and sacrifice of all who have served and continue to serve in the United States Armed Forces. The Kings County Veteran Service Office requests that the board adopt a resolution recognizing March 23rd through 29th, 2025 as Veteran and Military Women's History Week in Kings County. The resolution has been reviewed and approved by County Council as to form, and there is no impact to the County General Fund or the VSO fiscal year 24-25 adopted budget. And I do believe we have a couple female veterans in the audience.
If they could just stand up.
So thank you.
Good morning. Thank you, Ms. Chung. Ms. Chow, do you mind bringing up your veterans and allow them to introduce themselves and maybe the branch of service they served in the year?
I'll start. I'm Cody Pennington, again, Assistant Veteran Service Officer. I was in the United States Navy for 4 years as a hospital corpsman.
Service.
My name is Nelly Hernandez. I was in the United States Navy and I was a aviation mechanic for 2 years and then I cross-rated to aviation administration.
Service.
Hey, my name is Michelle Campbell. I served in the United States Army. I was a support specialist, and I did that for 4 years.
Hi, my name is Dottie Contreras. I served in the United States Air Force as an information technologist for 2 years.
And Dottie is our newest veteran service rep in our office. She just got her accreditation last month, so she's all up and running.
Good work. Good work.
Good morning. My name is Lindsay Hollinger. I served in the U.S. Army as an intelligence analyst for 4 years.
Thank you for your service.
Good morning, Christy Lepke. I served in the United States Army as military police, and I'm a Desert Storm veteran, although I don't know how that's possible since I'm only 21.
Thanks for your service.
I do know there are a lot of other women veterans in the county that unfortunately weren't able to make it here this morning due to their workload, but we do have quite a bit here in Kings County, so it is an honor to have that many people.
Thank you. I appreciate you guys putting us on the agenda. Mr. Chair, I think you'd agree that any department head that has a veteran, when we have this agenda item, I would ask that they would provide the time for them to come down here for the recognition. I think it's extremely important and a great opportunity to recognize annually the women veterans that I don't even like saying women veterans because you're a veteran, right?
Yes.
And in the Marine Corps back in 1990, we used to call them WMs, women Marines. And to me, that was always offensive because they earned the same title the men did. They're United States Marine. And so that's done and gone away with now. That term, that label is gone, but it was an official label. WM is how you refer to a woman who was in the Marine Corps. So I'm very happy that's gone. So I just want to say veterans, but let's do that. Let's get them here and let's have the opportunity for the nice photo and just recognize them for their service and thank them for taking that experience, that professionalism and integrity and bringing it here to the County of Kings.
Yes, sir. Any other questions from the board? Comment? Comments or questions from the audience? Seeing none, we'll go to the vote.
I move for approval.
Second.
Please call the roll.
Joe Nevs,
Yes.
Richard Valley,
Yes.
Doug Verboon, Rusty Robinson,
Yes.
Robert Thayer.
And then, of course, I would ask if we could do a photo.
All right. I'll do that.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Absolutely. How many do you have for 3? Okay, I got a couple of them. Right.
Good job.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Okay, the next item is from administration and Fury Martinez is out today with the flu. And we are going to pull item 2, A, and B, but we have number 1 left. So then Alex, there's one. So
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, members of the board, and our distinguished guest, Alex C. Walker, Administrative Analyst for Kings County Administration. Before you this morning is the second reading of the draft ordinance to add Article 12 to Chapter 14 of the Kings County Code of Ordinances pertaining to unlawful camping on public and private property and obstruction of public rights-of-way, known as the Unlawful Camping and Obstruction of Public Rights-of-Way Ordinance. The ordinance specifically calls for an abatement policy to support its enforcement, entitled the Unlawful Camping Abatement Policy, which your board approved on March 11th. Together, these documents serve to protect the public and private property and promote and protect the health, welfare, and safety of the community. The draft before you is the same as the previous one presented at the first hearing on March 11th. If approved today in accordance with state law, this ordinance shall take effect 30 days after final passage, with the ordinance being in effect on April 17th, 2025. I will note for the record that per state law, a summary of this ordinance with supervisors' votes will be published in the local paper within 15 days of passage. A pre-adoption summary and a copy of the ordinance was posted online on March 12, 2025, more than the minimum 5 days required by state law, and as well as posted on the meeting's agenda packet. The proposed draft maximizes flexibility and discretion for the county to effectively enforce its ordinances in compliance with state and federal law, while also allowing for non-criminal enforcement to appropriately support those in violation with the ordinance, such as through referral to community-based services. The draft ordinance is largely in line with other jurisdictions, such as the city of Hanford. However, compared to other jurisdictions, the county's draft differs in that abatement is part of a defined policy, partly because these state mandates are new and by intentional design to maximize local control, allowing the county to revise its policies should it be necessary to meet the needs of the county. Attached to the agenda packet is the draft ordinance, the abatement policy that was passed previously, resources list for those impacted by the enforcement, as well as other materials that were approved as formed by County Council. I will note for your reference, and if you would like me to read the ordinance in its entirety, I will, but for specific section I wanted to note for your board's attention is on page 6, item D, where it reads, an alternative to arrest, an enforcement officer may, in their discretion, with the consent of the charged individual, enforce a violation of this ordinance in a non-criminal matter and deliver individuals charged with violating this ordinance to a community-based organization that may have services available for the charged individual. The intent and aim of this ordinance is to apply for anyone in violation of the activities. It is not a criminalization of homelessness, rather addressing the health and safety concerns regarding unlawful camping activities. This ordinance will be enforced on everyone in the county, regardless of their housing status. And if you have any further questions, staff and I are available. Thank you.
A question that leads maybe a comment. Can you let those that are here this evening and listening online, how many different department heads and what department heads did this policy flow through to get it back come to this board?
Thank you, Supervisor Fair, for the question. This ordinance went through all department heads, and as well as your office before you were your time out as the supervisor, as well as discussed with the Kings County Homelessness Collaborative. There's been several eyes on this piece of legislation before your board this morning. And not only that, but it's been in development for just shy of a year now. So a lot of thought has gone into this ordinance. It's been reviewed by all the department heads. They've had the opportunity to comment and make revisions. And together we've presented a draft for your consideration.
Thank you. And then just a couple comments. This last week, I fielded situations. Thank you for your comment this morning. I know you're not in my district. And this is kind of what I relayed into the provisions of this make it a misdemeanor. And as defined in California Penal Code, misdemeanors I'm in jail or $1,000 fine or both, and it's not something that how that gets implicated or implemented in a situation would be by the court. A person in the black robe is going to take the decision.
That is correct, Supervisor. And that's also presuming that the DA would choose to enforce the criminal aspect of the ordinance. As I mentioned previously, there are also non-criminal enforcement actions embedded in the ordinance itself.
Right. And I just, and as it pertains then to item C, and I know I'm not going to read this thing. But as it pertains to item C, an alternative to a fine or jail sentence, the county, right, this board encourages the court to grant diversion with the condition that the offender complete a rehabilitation program or treatment plan. And I just suggest that of the ordinances that I've been a part of when I was with the sheriff's office, that this is kind of the best of both worlds of the gentleness of how we implement this to those who are camping unlawfully or who we have to remove. And the abatement process too, I pointed out to constituents too, is a two-prong aspect. One, it's with approval from the county administrative officer in collaboration with the elected sheriff. So it's just not a willy-nilly, let's roll out and bulldoze a campsite. Is that a fair?
That is correct, Supervisor Thayer. And if I may comment, so I believe our policy provides more due process than the recommended policy of the state of California, because we extend some of the minimums and even give even more notice requirement. And in that notice, when abatement would take effect, it will also include the list of resources and referral to services. As part of abatement, there will be a site assessment. If people are present, a department such as behavioral health, for example, or another county representative can go out and try to engage someone in services. We also have other services currently in existence, such as Care Court, that some of these individuals may be eligible for. And breaking ground this summer in 2025 is KCAO's 200-bed shelter. So the county has a lot of resources in development that are soon to come online, as well as a lot of existing resources that could be taken advantage of and received for those experiencing homelessness or an otherwise violation of the ordinance.
Thank you. That's the last I had, other than that there is a homeless collaborative in this county that's been in effect. I forget the number of years, 4 years. Their next meeting is April 21st. It's at the Kings Community Action Organization building. I think that's where you're still meeting.
That's correct.
1:30. And I would just encourage, anyone listening online that has a concern with this population that we're dealing with. It's a great group of individuals down there. It's very impressive that the number of people that are in that room who are collaborating together to impact this population for the betterment. And with that, that's all I have. Chair, thank you.
Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Good question. Supervisor Robinson.
I just wanted to express kind of the lens that I look through. I think this is the delicate balance that's necessary. I can tell you, at least through my lens, a lot of compassion went into this. As a child, every night we fed a homeless gentleman. When he passed, we buried him. As I went into my adult years, I did a management work up in Fresno, and I dealt with various issues that would arise, and I worked with the homeless 2 or 3 days a week. And so I think this is a good balance for everyone. I think will help to direct them to the services that they need. And I also think that it will help others in the community, the downtown and others too. So it's a real sensitive topic, and it but I do think that the necessary compassion's been given on this issue. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman. Yeah, Mr. Chairman, I also want to just comment on it. For folks who have followed this, I mean, homelessness, obviously, it's a big problem, not just in Kings County, statewide, and in our nation. And this is just a small piece of the puzzle, because this is not going to solve the issue. Obviously, it's just another resource. It's just something to try to help with the situation here. And I agree with the public comment earlier. We're all some of us are one paycheck away from being homeless. And just as importantly, I think everybody is one bad decision away from being homelessness. And we can all make a mistake that would put us in a situation like that on any given day. And so I don't think that we're looking down on the homeless. I agree with Supervisor Robinson that a lot of compassion has went into this, but also a lot of public comment, which is why when you look at the staff memo, the first sentence says, in response to increased public health and safety risks, the county drafted this ordinance. And so We've had a lot of public comment, not just here, but at city councils as it relates to public health and safety when we have these encampments. I mean, Jason's from Corcoran. Jason, you remember the big homeless encampment at the downtown park when all the people were living there for many years. And so that's the one that I'm most experienced with that being my hometown. But I know these encampments are around the county. But just with the Corcoran one, again, and I've said it before, when you talk about public health, I was there the day that Corcoran PD went there, and we brought county resources and we brought KCAO, and we brought people to help homeless get in a hotel that night, or if they wanted to go home, give them a ride, or if they need to leave town, we had Amtrak tickets. We took one homeless person to the Amtrak train, paid to get them home. They ended up not even wanting to get on the train because they just wanted to stay there. There was one guy, he was homeless. His family lives across the street. I talked to him for 30 minutes saying, go home, brother. He didn't want to go home. And so it's a very difficult situation, but the public health and safety part of it is on that day, there was needles from drug paraphernalia left in the park in the grass. To this day, the city still has not taken down the fence because it still needs to be, they're sanitizing it. They're very carefully inspecting it. There was items that had bodily fluids in them. There was human feces, urine, the homeless in that park, people's backyards, their driveways were in that alley where the alley blends into the park where this encampment was, where they just took over. The kids can go play there at the park. Nobody could go there. The homeless was urinating, going to the restroom in people's backyards and in their driveways. These residents were very frustrated and coming to Corcoran City Council. We had, I believe there was 2 murders at that park during the time of women and found dead in their tent. There was prostitution. There was arrest of prostitution. There was targeted drug dealers would come to Corcoran on the 1st of the month to target these homeless people and pick them up and take them out to use drugs, sell them drugs, and drop them off the next day dead broke back at the park. So there's a lot of issues that come into this. And again, this is not going to solve the homeless issue. Another thing was during the pandemic, the board that was seated at the time, me being one of them, we took money from the state and we bought hotels and offered homeless to come in, live in the hotels during the pandemic. A lot of them didn't even want to come because they didn't want to be in a structured environment. They would not take the free hotel room. So not to be on the negative side or counter anyone who has a concern about it, because your opinions are right too, man. And I agree with a lot of what you said. However, this is just a very tough issue that unfortunately is going to take a lot of time and a lot more work than this ordinance here. But I believe it is a step in the positive direction. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. I can add anything to it. We didn't get this done overnight. We've been working on this for over a year. Supervisor Robinson has been constantly talking about this. So I'm glad we got to the council today to vote on it. So thank you for your hard work and consistency. I got tired of hearing about it, but you guys did a good job. And Robert, I know you. Okay, at this time, we'll turn over to the public for comment. Do you have any comment?
I have Ivette Chaidez online.
Online.
Mhm.
So it says JC.
I see.
Hi, good morning, Chairman and members of the board. I do have a question. Y'all have mentioned resources that are available in the community. So my question is, in this last year that you all were working on this ordinance, was a study done on the barriers that exist for people to access these resources, and have the people that would be offering these services, whoever they are, been trained in trauma-informed care? Because one of the things that my team constantly gets told when we're out in the community, we're out at the soup kitchen once a week, every week. And a lot of the complaints have been that they come to us to get the resources that we have because we have never made them feel alienated. We've always treated them with kindness and respect that they deserve. So they're more willing to come and speak to us. That's the reason why we had such a huge success in the vaccination clinics when, doctors' offices, the health department, and even pharmacies are available and we're doing the vaccinations. So that's my question. Was a study done on the barriers to access, and are you working on eliminating those barriers to access? I also would like to add that sometimes, even though the resources are there and you are coming across the issue of people not wanting to take them, pride is an issue. I understand that. And pride is even more of an issue when they've already felt disrespected by the people that have been responding to them. And I, on numerous occasions, have heard complaints, alleged complaints, on just how disrespectful some of the homeless liaisons have been, specifically law enforcement, and what recourse do these homeless individuals have if their rights have been violated and have been disrespected, and the ordinance has, the specifications of this ordinance in regards to storing their property have been violated. That's all.
Thank you. Now, did you state your name so we can get back to you? We got it?
Sorry, my name is Yvette Chávez Villarreal.
Okay, thank you very much for your comment.
Mr. Chairman, would you like me to respond? Because I do have answers ready. So in regards to studying barriers, the county did review the last pit count. Currently, there's a current pit count that is currently being developed by the Kings Tulare Homelessness Alliance. So we are still waiting for those numbers. In addition to counting those experiencing homelessness, it also inquires and examines what barriers have led them to their current situation. And in addition to that, the resources provided in the agenda packet today that we referred in reference to in the notice of abatement have been reflect the list of various county entities, various community-based organizations. This list was also developed in collaboration with the Kings Tulare Homelessness Alliance, as well as referred to with the Kings County Collaborative on Homelessness. And in addition to talking about like how we communicate these services and addressing the pride issue that you talk about, it's about breaking that stigma. I can't speak to the individual organizations who provide resources, but what I gather from attending those collaborative meetings is that they have client training, are able to communicate in a way that's sympathetic and empathetic and encouraging, because it can be stigmatizing to be in this type of situation. And not only that, the Kings County Homelessness Collaborative had a meeting yesterday where they talked about expanding communication efforts and being able to identify new ways of discussing these resources so that we can encourage people to receive them and participate more actively, because ultimately we're not trying to force people into services, but we are trying to get them into help. And there's also alternative measures for those who may not be in a mental capacity to make informed decisions because of a disease or mental impairment, such as CareCore, to be able to reach services to them. Ultimately, I hope that answers your question, but staff and I are more than happy to respond offline as well.
Just one more thing, and is it fair to say, Alex, that your new position in county administrative office is that you were, I guess, kind of considered the hub of all of these community-based organizations in county, the health department. You are now, all of those agencies can direct things to. Is that a fair assessment?
It is one of my duties. One of the items that were pulled actually references my specific assignment to homelessness that your board will be reviewing at a future board meeting. But of my assignment, since joining the county, I have been coordinating these efforts, been extensively involved in the drafting of this ordinance, the abatement policy, tracking state mandates, identifying funding opportunities, and other collaborative efforts such as the Kings County Homelessness Collaborative and the Kings Tulare Homelessness Alliance to make sure that we're all coming at this together and not having one approach that's less effective.
Just, you want to come to the front? Sure.
I just wanted to make the comment that I know when I work at the soup kitchen, several of the clients have talked to me about the fact that they've been referred, but the people don't have enough time to help them. And so we have referral services, but do we have enough people to help those folks? You know, I know that one of the things they do in Fresno, and I'm not trying to hold them up but they have a social worker from Poverello House, which is it's not associated with the church anymore. They're a private organization, but they go out with the police officers when an encampment is going to come down and talk with the people and help them pack it up and have pickup trucks to help them move their things, because I don't, it's hard for someone like me who I have a home, I have, I have everything I need, and I have my family around me, and these folks, all they have is what's in that little cart, and we look at it many times as junk that they're carting around, but it's, to them, it's all they have. And we can't separate them. It's like separating them from their animals. One of the things I really was encouraged by was the shelter that KCAO is building. They're building a area for their animals so that they can take their animals with them, because that was one of the reasons why a lot of folks would not go to the shelter, was they had to leave their animal. And we think, well, how can they afford to have an animal? But that's their best friend. I mean, some of us feel that way about our own pets, and but we need people to, and I think Yvette was talking about that people need to not kind of have an attitude like, well, you have to go to this appointment at this place. Well, they don't have a car. How are they going to get all the way across town to go to that appointment? And I know, like I said, some of the clients have told me, well, I got a referral, but it's like next week, or, they don't have enough therapists to help me, or they don't have enough this or that. And it's like, it's tough. I mean, I don't have that situation. I have insurance. I have, I have everything, but that doesn't mean that I don't think that other people should have that, and I think it's important that we understand their frustration, or they're saying, hey, I'm just going to go use drugs because that's a lot more fun than having to deal with my life how it is, And I spent 25 years in the Department of Corrections, so I kind of, know some of the issues with what we're dealing with. So
thank you for
volunteers.
Mr. Chairman, go ahead. If I may respond to that public comment, it is clearly abundant that this is not going to end homelessness tomorrow. But not only are we collaborating with other external entities such as community-based organizations to provide services, this ordinance, in my view, of someone who's worked on it personally, is going to strike that balance of being able to engage more meaningfully with clients and those experiencing homelessness, and also providing adequate enforcement to those who are in violation of the ordinance, regardless of their housing status. I did want to note that in the policy that was adopted by your board on March 11th, which, again, to my earlier comment, provides additional due process than the state's recommendation, especially when it comes to reclaiming property and the collection of property, and also the treatment of pets, which follows industry standards. It would be my pet will be treated the same as a person experiencing homelessness pet. And that's a very important thing that I would like the public to know. And again, just emphasizing that this ordinance is not just focused on homelessness. Obviously, there are going to be people who are experiencing homelessness that will be impacted by this ordinance, but it also applies to everyone in the county and provides that lens. Thank you.
Thank you for your service at Soup Kitchen. My wife and I have served there as well before. Just to let you know, the hands-on approach that we take, there's a homeless gentleman that calls me quite frequently. And even as soon as 2 weeks ago, he didn't understand the housing thresholds. So I spoke to him to find out what his questions were. He had a friend that was on the street that was able to locate housing, but he wasn't. And so I took that. I reached out to Dr. Lewis. I don't know what will become of it, but she's in the process of trying to figure out whether he's eligible for housing. So that's how direct it is, and the dialogue's constant.
Be back here. This is number one to get this done. So it wasn't easy. Took a long time. Couple times.
Thank you, sir.
I'd like to make a motion.
Mr. Chair, before you get your second, I may have missed it, but did you open it officially to the public for any additional comments? Great, thank you.
Joe Nevs. Richard Valley.
Yes.
Doug Verboon. Rusty Robinson.
Yes.
Robert Thayer.
Thank you. Before we go to the next item, we're going to open it back up for public comment.
Nathan Alonso.
Good morning, friends in Kings County. Nathan Alonso, your local government affairs representative for Pacific Gas and Electric. Just wanted to come by, and I didn't realize that the average age of the supervisors dropped so dramatically all in one meeting. They certainly did. They certainly did. But wanted to come by and say hello, and then also to offer to come later on this spring to give an update on rates, some of the legislative efforts that we have underway, some of the regulatory issues that we're facing, and some of the other things that we're doing in order to bring customer bills down and to create some rate stability. And then also some of the, like I said, regulatory challenges that we're having that we're engaging local partners on to help us with. Seeing Supervisor Valley here today, I owe him an update on a specific issue, and I finally got the answer on it. So I will speak with you offline on that. But yes, would like to come back before this board later on this spring to give you a more comprehensive update of the work we're doing here in Kings County, and then what's happening to us at the state and federal levels. Thank you.
Hey, Mr. Chairman, if I could I want to thank Nathan and PG&E. I know they've had a busy last 10 days or so with the atmospheric rivers and the storms, but they had crews as those storms came in. They had crews strategically located around the county in case there was power outages. And I don't remember anything going out in Corcoran. I didn't hear, I don't think I heard anything from Avenel. So good job. I know that was a lot of hard work out in weather to you and your crews. Thank you.
Thank you very much. This time we'll go to the next item, which is the board member announcement. Joe.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Attended the Foundations of Leadership that was put on by the Kings County Fire Department and the Thatchy Palace. Covered a lot of leadership training from the Los Angeles Fire Department, as well as incidents like the Boston Marathon bombing. The discussion also addressed issues in the fire service, from shift work to recruiting and to retention. I want to thank Chief for inviting everyone. It was very well attended, and thank you for establishing such a great group of people. Also attended the Hanford Elks corned beef and cabbage on Friday, picked up corned beef and cabbage on Saturday from the Lemoore American Legion Post 100. Certainly want to thank them for that. And then attended the Lemoore Rock and Gym Show in Lemoore on Saturday morning, and then the Stratford Seafood Boil on Saturday night. Well attended, a lot of good food. On Sunday, Kathy and I attended the King Symphony Spring Concert at the Hanford Fox Theater. The Kings County Health Equity Advisory Panel meeting on Monday was canceled. The Kings County Homeless Collaborative meeting on Monday. We received reports about the low barrier shelter, permanent supportive housing, and all of the other outreach activities that are going on throughout the county. And then the blood drive held here at Kings County on March 13th yielded 29 collections. I want to thank everyone that rolled up their sleeve and donated a pint, and appreciate that. And we'll have another one in about April. So thank you very much, Raj, for advertising. Thank you, Chair. Thank you. There.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chair. As I mentioned earlier, I had fielded a few phone calls this week with concerns over that our camping ordinance. And on Wednesday of this week, I attended the Central Republican Committee and briefed them on just some things that the board has approved over the course of the last couple of months. I offered that too this week in a phone call with the chairwoman for the Central Democrat Committee, that I am happy to address their board as well, should they pose that invite. On Thursday, we had a pre-meeting with the new 4-county coordination that this board approved last week, the S2J2, and where we were planning for our meeting Friday, which took place with the California Secretary of Natural Resources, Crowfoot, and our Secretary of Agriculture, Ross, and very complicated endeavor. But there were a lot of people on there that, including their deputy secretaries, that looks like this is going to carve forward and move forward. We're going to meet with them in person in April up in Sacramento, and look forward to that. On Saturday evening, attended a local Rotary event called the Fraternal Hall. Ate a nice steak and broke bread with some good people from our community. Yesterday, attended KT AAA in Visalia and was voted in as the vice chair over there now that I have voting privileges on that committee. And then also yesterday, I met with Chuck Kenny in his office and got a great overview on land use and zoning and that type of policy that is in our county. And then just lastly, and it just kind of reminded me, because we've had these atmospheric rivers come through, that if you have a phone, you can download the Kings County Sheriff's Office app to your phone, and it gives you multiple updates on issues impacting our community, and the National Weather Service is part of that. And you can prepare for it. I know I heard some of our staff this morning talking about the hailstorm yesterday, and I had about 65 seconds of knowledge that there was this cell over Hanford, and then it hit the top of my house. And so it's just a nice thing to have. So maybe you won't get in your car and leave when it's hailing, golf ball size hail in the community, but just throw that out there as well. And that's all, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. First of all, I want to start off thanking Mr. Jason Leppy for standing in today as a District 2 County Supervisor, as well as the other students up here today. It was a pleasure serving with you guys. I hope that you got a little picture of what the Board of Supervisors does, and hopefully during the lunchtime program we can make some remarks as having all the students here today, because I think we missed an opportunity as in the past where the students would stay here for a brief part of the meeting, at least to see a couple of votes take place and see their county government in action. I think that's what Youth and Government Day is all about, Mr. Chair. And I think that it's an opportunity today for the students to know the districts they live in, who the representative is up there. We should work on getting the maps put back up when we have the students here, so they can understand the breakdown of the districts, understand how we're even seated up here, that it's through election and a 4-year term. I think that would be a major part of Youth and Government Day here. So let's kind of work on getting back some of the basics here with this program.
Jason, you got any shout outs or anything you want to say about your experience today?
I'd like to appreciate the opportunity to be able to come here and be seated with all you gentlemen, ladies, everyone here on the board, the council. And I thank you guys for passing all these votes and everything, making our community and our nation, our state better.
Thank you. He does. He's Corcoran. He's a Corcoran High Panther, and yeah. I just need about maybe one more term. I'm retired of the coast, but there you go. And then, Mr. Chair, I want to point out just two more quick things. This past weekend was a very successful, special time in the city of Corcoran. The city was able to, because of the pump track that's there at Gateway Park. For those of you who've seen it, that nice track that was built there a couple of years ago. The league that does the competitions became aware of the track. They reached out to the city. Long story short, this past Saturday was a major tournament there. It was competition all day where I believe the top two finalists, can't even remember what country they're now going to go to, but it was a qualifier, Australia, for the World Championship. It was an exciting time. And the businesses in downtown Corcoran were packed. I know Lake Bottom was packed Friday night. You can't get a hotel room in town because this event came with, onboard crowd. This wasn't just, hey, we're having a tournament, who wants to come? These were competitors, their families, people interested in the sport. They came to Corcoran and Kings County, and I got to imagine the overflow because Corcoran's limited on hotel rooms at maybe Hanford, Lemoore, the Tachi Hotel Casino got some business, at least some lodging. So that was, there was free bounce houses. It was food vendors out there, and it was just a really good time for people who went out there. And I think that was just part of the strategy of why the city did that. There's very few pump tracks in the state of California, and so I believe that's going to be an annual event there, hopefully. And Hanford, Lemoore, you guys got a lot. Don't even try to get a pump track because Corcoran's got the mark on that. So no. Well, I don't want to say BMX. What's the more technical term? Were those BMX bikes? I mean, it looked like it. These guys are getting air. Yeah, so it's a very tough sport. Last, Mr. Chair, for those of you who had the opportunity to know Miss Marilyn Nolan out of Corcoran, she for years ran the Corcoran Emergency Aid, and I think there's a more technical title to that organization, but in Corcoran we call it Corcoran Emergency Aid. And Miss Nolan, her service was this past Saturday at Corcoran Cemetery. So we were out there Saturday afternoon. A lot of people came out. But Marilyn Nolan is definitely somebody that should be recognized by the county, the state, and the nation for her unselfishness that she gave to not only the homeless population, but to anyone who just needed a helping hand. And she worked that warehouse and built it up, and then bought a bigger building, and just always helped us, especially with Operation Gobble. We couldn't do it without her. She was our fiscal organization, so that way the donations can go to her nonprofit, and she paid off all our turkey bills. But working Operation Gobble with her for 25 years, she's definitely going to be missed. The whole community already misses her, and the pastor labeled her with agreement from the community that she's the Mother Teresa of Corcoran, and that's the way she lived. And so we want to thank her for her life and for her service to our community.
First of all, thank you, Elizabeth. I've never sounded so good. Let's see, on Wednesday, attended a meeting with Lemoore Mayor Patricia Matthews and Laura Brown from Boswell on airboard issues. Also attended a meeting with Hanford Vice Mayor. Saturday, attended the Sunset Rotary Dinner at Fraternal Hall with Supervisor Verboen there. Sunday, had a dinner with friends and Fresno City Councilman Nick Richardson. And then yesterday, attended a Kings and Tulare Agency on Aging meeting with Supervisor Thayer, and congratulations to Supervisor Thayer for now becoming Vice Chair. And then also last night, had corned beef and cabbage with my Irish family and attended the Sons of Liberty. Thank you, Mr. President.
Well, thank you, Elijah Whiting, for joining me today. For the day sponsor in the future. And did you do anything exciting last week?
He got second place, and it's like history because they always have this curse. In the prelims, they didn't score. I didn't. They scored third. And they broke their fifth.
You said don't worry about the TV, you didn't think.
It's okay.
You can tell whatever you want.
Tastes like
I wish my friend who's not a redhead, but I like to call her redhead, happy St. Patrick's Day. And I asked her where my pot of gold was, and so I was kind of upset about that.
Yeah, trust the Irish.
No. Where's my corned beef?
Come on over.
This whole week I have musical theater rehearsals every day. So
Very good. What instrument do you play?
Ooh, what instrument?
Yeah.
I play trumpet primarily, and then I also play flute, and I played oboe for 1 year, and I'm also the drum major at Sierra Pacific High School. So I'm like the head leader of the band.
We have a famous drummer in the room right with us, plays in a band. Matthew. Just a couple things for myself. Last Tuesday, I left here, went to my Valley Voice trip with 8 Valley counties, talk about transportation issues with the state capital and all. And so that was Tuesday night, all day Wednesday, and then home and then Sunset Rotary on the Saturday night. And I'm here today. I did a filming yesterday for the Battery Report, so we'll see if that comes on TV. Half-hour show on Sunday morning, so we'll see if I did any good on that or not. So with that, we'll move on to
Mr. Chair, one more thing.
Yes, sir.
I'm sorry, I forgot my better half. Elizabeth had a couple of words. She needs.
Well, I just wanted to first thank you all for giving me the opportunity to be up here. I think this is a great opportunity that many students get to have. Well, I learned about a lot of issues that I didn't know Kings County was having, such as homeless and other issues. So thank you. That's just a little comment I wanted to leave. Just thank you all.
Yeah, Mr. Chair, the same thing. I didn't give Dominic an opportunity. If you can say you.
I'd like to thank all you guys for hosting this and showing us how our county works, and I appreciate everything you guys do for us. And this really helps me in my journey to work in government. It shows me how you guys function, and it makes me more motivated to want to work within the government. So I thank you guys.
Yeah, and just real quick, one more thing, Mr. Chair, that I forgot to put in my notes, that our very own Victor Chavrin out here is the Tri-County Coach of the Year, and pretty good accomplishment, SD coach, and it needs to be said in the public forum. So, absolutely, good job, Coach.
Once again, I'd just like to give a big thanks to everyone. I'd also like to give a shout out to the Lamar High School boys volleyball program that is up and coming. I just wanted to give that a shout out.
So this was all made possible by the former two valued college. And it isn't memory that we do this, Houston County government, fee with a $15. And it's possible by having donations from the community, so we have after Sunset Rotary, after New Rotary, and one with nothing of it. Wouldn't happen without the community. This time I need to go back to Thomas and get on burger today. What they do today.
Jose Ariano, we are trying to allow you time to speak.
Future agenda, board correspondence, and upcoming events. Happy.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The board received an invitation on March 13th to the 2025 Sir Optimist International Live Your Dream Awards Banquet, which will take place on Tuesday, April 15th. The board received correspondence dated March 13th from the W.H. Wilbur Reclamation District number 825 regarding a notice of vacancy in their Office of Trustee. Board also received correspondence dated March 13th from the Angioli Water District regarding a notice of vacancy in their Office of Director. Your board also received correspondence dated March 13th from the Green Valley Water District regarding a board vacancy and appointment request of Craig Andrew. And your board received the Kings County Operational Area Report dated March 14th from the Fire Department's Office of Emergency Services. And finally, your board received a memo dated March 17th from County Administrative Officer Kiri Martinez regarding salary adjustments for the Sheriff's Office pursuant to Personnel Rule 13081. And for upcoming events, I'm going to pass it off to Anaya Gomez here, from a freshman from esteemed Lemoore High. So with that, take it away.
Kings County Behavioral Health hosts its mental health family member support group tonight, Tuesday, March 18th from 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. at the Kings building here on campus. And Kings County Library will host its movies time tomorrow, Wednesday, March 9th from 3 to 5 p.m. at the Stratford Branch Library. Kings County Behavioral Health will host its Veterans Support Group next Tuesday, March 25th from 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. at the Veterans Memorial Hall in Hanford. And Kings Court Library will host its story time this Thursday, March 20th from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. at the Hanford Branch Library.
Thank you very much, and I appreciate that. For upcoming agenda items, the following agenda items are due to be on your agenda at the March 25th meeting. So administration has 4 items. One is a presentation of the employee of the fourth quarter for 2024. Next is a presentation on the J.C. Montgomery Golden State Pathways Program implementation, approving some financing for the acquisition and construction of a qualified solid waste disposal facility, and approval of some financing for the acquisition and construction of a qualified residential rental project. Behavioral Health has 1 item regarding an amendment and resolution for the performance agreement with the California Department of Healthcare Services. Health has 1 item regarding a resolution recognizing March 2025 as American Red Cross Month. Human Services has 1 item regarding an agreement with Intelligent Corporation for consulting services. Human Resources has 1 item regarding restoration of job classification and allocation changes for the Administration Department. Public Works has 1 item regarding the purchase of a full tilt custom trailer. And lastly, the Sheriff has 1 item regarding a service handgun purchase. And with that, that concludes my report. Thank you.
Yes, we do. To my knowledge, it wasn't pulled, correct? Was it pulled?
Yes, close has been pulled due to Youth and County Government Day activity.
If I can have Christine come up and tell the students that are at their next step in.